Welcome back to the Great Alaskan Journey. Today's video is our breakdown on surviving in Alaska. So here we are at our first Campfire Talk. I guess we can call that.
Yeah, Campfire Talks. We've done Campfire Talks, for sure.
Well, we did the one garden video.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So
And then never did one again.
No.
But here we are.
So here we are. We're making another attempt at it. This one is going to be about how we survive in Alaska.
Yeah, and how far we've come, what we do, and what we achieve to be.
Exactly. The first thing we'll talk about, I guess, is the obvious one. Snow.
Snow. It's melting right now.
Okay, well, today is a weird day because it's almost 50 degrees.
Today's amazing.
We were out in the Alaskan weather in t-shirts, basically.
Yeah,
I was in a t-shirt.
yeah.
So this year, our snow that we got in November was the highest amount of snowfall ever recorded.
Yeah.
In November.
Yeah.
And then in January, they
Did another record.
It was 100 inches in Anchorage, and it was the quickest it's ever hit 100 before.
I think we had more here than Anchorage.
I think we did too.
I feel like we did.
Out here in Wasilla.
Yeah.
So that was kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not really, because we had to snow blow so many times.
But I like snow blowing sometimes.
You do.
It's
but
fun.
There was a few times where you were just like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, well, it like snowed, and then it snowed.
Yeah.
And then it snowed. So, it's like...
But it gets you out into the weather, though, when it snows.
It's nice just to get outside.
One of the difficulties is when it snows is we have only a snow blower. And we have to do so many different like pathways on our homestead here.
Yeah, I mean, we choose to make it easy access through the whole winter because you really have to keep up with the snow blowing if you want easy access to doors.
Yeah.
Like our shed, our driveway, the chicken coop, and the back door, the front door, the garage.
The fire pit.
The barbecue, the outside heater. Like around the house until it falls off the roof.
So that alone right there is just so much effort just to keep up with that. I mean, for how many times it snowed this year, it was a lot of effort just to keep going for normal day-to-day basis.
Yeah. And we're not saying that people don't get snow anywhere else besides Alaska, but what we're saying is our winter's so long. Like, it's been snowing for 5 months. And it's like we have more snow coming up, even though it's 50 today. It's just wild. I don't think they've ever had a temperature this warm. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, this is kind of bizarre.
We've had to set records today. It's been such a weird year. Like, the weather has been so different for the past 3 years.
Well, talking about the weather with the snow and things that are difficult just to live day-to-day basis, the temperature.
Yeah.
This year, we were in the negatives for a lot longer than we normally have been.
Yeah, it got down to like, when we saw it was negative 38, but who knows how low it got in the middle of the night. And it was in the negative 20s for just a week was the high. And it was frigid.
And then one of the big things that happened that we kind of had to keep doing to maintain it was our windows.
Windows were so
iced
over.
Up. Oh, man. It was just thick ice all along the bottom of our window. And at that point, we just had to start laying towels down on the windowsills.
Yeah, because the condensation from being warm inside, and we don't have a dry heat, I would sort of say, like a fireplace provides dry heat. We don't have that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of condensation that gets built up on our windows, and it freezes because it's so freaking cold outside, and you just have chunks of just lines of ice, and then when it warms up, it melts and then cools down, it freezes, melts, freezes, and it just gets all over the place.
But some of the times it melts not where the drain is at in the window. So it just starts pouring over the edge of that, like,
Yeah.
where it slides, I guess.
Yeah.
And it just starts coming just onto the windowsill and then starts falling on the floor.
Yeah.
So you just kind of have to keep up with that. That's just maintenance you got to do during the winter times when the temperatures reach negatives. I would say around like -5 is when it really starts.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Jacob agrees.
I don't really know.
So what's another big thing about living here in Alaska that makes it difficult to...
There's not much to do in the winter unless you have snow machines like this person has been doing. And it's like, we don't have snow machines, so it's not like we get out that much. And, it's like, how much can you play in snow? Yeah. I mean, you can go
There's a lot to do.
And things like that, but we don't have,
we don't have any money for that kind of stuff.
we don't have much. We have some snowshoes.
Yeah.
And we do go on hikes sometimes and stuff, but... yeah, there's just not much to do.
Yeah. Another thing that makes it kind of difficult here is the obvious thing that everyone always asks you when they find out that you live here in Alaska is daylight.
Yeah.
And how little it is.
So little daylight. And that's the thing, too. It's like it's dark all the time. So it's like you don't really want to go out and do much anyways. You just want to be inside warm.
Yeah. During the wintertime, it is very difficult from the snow, the cold temperatures, no daylight.
Yeah.
How much daylight do you think we get at, like, the shortest part?
The shortest? I would say you can see the top of the sun for, like, an hour and a half.
Yeah.
2 hours.
But it'll be, like, daylight for, what, like 4.5 hours, kind of?
Yeah,
like
you
get
have
enough
that
light.
natural lighting.
Yeah.
But it's not direct sunlight.
Yeah.
And then it gets pitch black. Probably the shortest was like 3:30.
Yeah.
And then the sun would come up about noon, 12:31.
Yeah. That seems about right. But I like it because you wake up, even if you sleep in 9 o'clock, and you can get up, get your cup of coffee, sit on the couch.
Yeah, if you don't have to go to work.
If you don't have to go to work.
But we do that every morning.
And then you open up the shades,
and
then you can just
open up the shades.
observe the darkness, and it's just so tranquil.
Yeah, it's so pretty because we have all the hanging... Oh my god, they just turned on. They must have turned on in the video because I can see them. It's just so pretty to look out, and everything's white in winter wonderland. But it's frigid cold and everything's dead outside.
So there's a little bit of a depression there. Depression is big here in Alaska because...
I was going to say... Oh, keep going.
Because of just the little daylight. People have these... I don't know what exactly they're called, but it's like daylight lights.
We have one.
Yeah, we have one. I don't know what they call it, but people literally, they'll put it on their desk or something. They'll turn it on. They say if you sit in front of it for like an hour, it's supposed to help decrease depression, just because your body feels like it's getting that natural sunlight.
Vitamin C or vitamin D?
Vitamin D.
Vitamin D.
So those are good to have. We do have one. We really haven't used it much.
I haven't really felt that depressed about it not being able to do much outside.
Yeah.
We do stuff outside.
It's kind of nice just to relax.
But barbecue.
We're starting to hit the point where we're getting restless.
Yeah,
and
because right now it's daylight, and these turn on at 5, and it's like it's never been light out at 5. It feels like.
Well, today kind of helped us get life back again.
Yeah, it was
from this.
clear skies.
Yeah,
but that thing too. It's like you get your hopes up, and then the next week it's frigid cold again. That's like the fluctuating into spring type of deal.
Yeah.
It's like you don't know when you get. Like our last frost is in the middle of May.
Yeah.
That's literally still 3 months away.
Ugh.
3.5 months.
Yeah.
Of winter left. Do you count first frost as the last part of winter?
No, by all means, no.
No.
Winter is still like a climate thing. So.
Yeah.
So last frost just means at night
It got above 32 and it won't go back below 32.
Yeah. So.
I say winter's over.
Okay, you can.
It's like saying
fine.
Groundhog's Day with the groundhog. Do you believe that? But
winter is an actual season that ends on a specific date. Which one is that? I don't know, because our winter lasts a lot longer than probably what they say for everyone else. So.
And we don't have groundhogs, so.
Yeah, or snakes.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're kind of like getting off track here. So that's one other thing you have to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, just keeping up with the cars.
Yeah, car maintenance. Mm-hmm. We have, luckily, a heated garage to keep our cars in, so that's really good. But there's a lot of people who have to plug their cars in. They get an electric dipstick, and then they put it into their oil of their car, and they plug it in, and it keeps the oil warm enough so when they go to start it, it's just healthier for the car.
Yeah, or you can get like a little plate on the bottom that attaches to your oil pan or anything.
Yeah, that's right. And
there's like different things.
You can get a plate for your battery as well, because the batteries will die if they just sit out in the cold.
The Tacoma will, for sure.
Yeah.
Or the 4Runner, I mean.
Yeah.
Remember that one day?
Oh,
when I picked it up, it was like ging 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 ging. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
Thank God we have a garage for that, because there's no way. Yeah. Unless the battery is old. That's another thing. It's like if your battery is old, it stands no chance in the winter. Like you have to have a fresh, good battery in the winter.
Well, one other thing that happened. Oh, the smoke.
Fire's really getting you.
It's really coming at me.
Here, let me adjust this.
Yeah, can you?
Let me adjust this. Ow.
Well, you grab it with your bare hands.
Well, it's like we don't have anything else.
Another thing is like when we went to Target this one time, it was really windy and it was really cold. And we go into Target for what, like 30 minutes?
Not even.
Yeah, and we come back out, or we could have left the car running, because everyone here, they leave their cars running during the wintertime.
Yeah, I'm too scared to do it.
Yeah, I'm afraid someone's stealing the car. So we didn't.
We're from LA. We don't do that.
What?
We're from LA. We don't do that.
We're not from LA anymore. We're from Alaska.
LA was so long ago. It wasn't even LA. But anyways.
Anyway, so we start the car back up, and we go to put it in reverse to get out of our parking spot, and the car doesn't go anywhere. And we're trying to figure out, and then also you hear a big clank, and what I'm assuming is the brakes froze to the rotor. Is that what it's called? The rotor? And finally released from it. They got froze together.
Sounded like the friggin' car snapped in half.
It does. It's kind of like, I was a little concerned about the car, but then it happened 2 more times because we had to go somewhere else. So
yeah.
So it leads to the next point of, this is more specific to. Ooh,
the fire's really getting you.
This campfire talk is really intense.
A campfire talk. It's a real campfire, you guys. This is no joke.
So the next thing we're leading to, talking about that day with it being windy out here in the Matanuska Valley, or as they call Matsu. That's what Wasilla Palmer is considered as part of.
Yeah. And
our winds here get so crazy. I mean, you're talking up to like 80, 90 miles per hour sometimes. And they'll come in like days. It won't last more than one. Yeah. But then it'll come back later on another day. And there's a lot of businesses that like lose their business signs and like stuff's all over. The one time at Target, do you remember that?
Oh my God, those cart corrals were all the way on the other side of the parking lot at Taco Bell. It was
those
so
heavy
crazy.
metal cart corrals.
It's so crazy, and it's so dangerous too, because it creates, it like snow drifts. Yeah. So then driving is like almost utterly impossible because you can't see anything.
Well, at one point, our highway got closed down, the Glen Highway, and you couldn't get back to Anchorage.
That's it.
Like,
There's one road, you guys.
They
There's
closed
one
down.
road. That's it.
There was semis that got tipped over. There were cars that were stranded, and they were trying to get rescued out to them. But because there's this flat area by Palmer, and the winds just come shooting down that. And the whole road is just covered in feet of snow at that point.
Yeah, for sure.
Over by Wasilla Lake, it was just completely white out. And the cops eventually ended up shutting that part of the road down. It is crazy and intense when these winds come.
Yeah, it's fun to watch, but it's like scary. It's not scary. I mean, it is scary. It's like, are all the trees going to fall and kill me?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there are a lot of dead trees from beetle kill out here, too, and those end up falling down.
Yeah, a lot of trees fall around here.
I mean, we had one that came down right in our neighborhood. Luckily, we could get around it.
Well, the one that hit our house.
Oh, yeah. Well, it nicked our house.
Still hit a bit of that down.
It was a pretty small tree. We actually have to go look at it when spring comes.
I know, it's deep under snow.
Yeah.
We're gonna
but it definitely looks like a dent, but not too bad. It's just like on the ridge. We could replace that one metal piece if we have to. Yeah. Or even put can you put a special coating on there to kind of like keep it from rusting?
If the paint chipped.
Yeah. So that's another intense thing here in Alaska on how to survive.
Winds are no joke. And it's not like, oh my God, we got a windstorm this winter. It's like, we get multiple windstorms. And here where we live isn't even like the worst of it.
Yeah.
It's wild down in Palmer.
It's like little mini hurricanes that just come in.
Yeah.
I mean,
without the tropicalness.
I'll put in a few videos during this talk.
Yeah. It's so cool to see,
the intensity of the wind that we got here. It's pretty crazy.
It looks like the Sahara Desert. Imagine that, but snow. No
Actually,
joke.
the snow kind of looks like sand, yeah.
Yeah.
I will concur with that statement.
What's next?
I'm sorry, I keep getting smoke in my eyes.
I know, but I have a great spot.
You really do. It's barely coming over to him.
Yeah.
Want to talk about the moose?
Oh, the moose.
Because
They're
to
dangerous.
survive here in Alaska, you also have to watch out for the moose.
Animals.
Well,
Wildlife.
animals. But the moose are the most, I would say,
dangerous.
The most encounters that we have in our area. We don't
get bears or...
We don't get bears.
Maybe wolves sometimes, but...
But even they stay in the backwoods.
I mean, we haven't seen one.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're out here, but
We've
it's like we
heard them
haven't
when
seen
going
one.
camping.
Yeah.
And it is kind of a concern.
But usually they're fine because they have so much food here for them. It's not like they're somewhere scarce, you know?
Yeah. There's a bear that roams in every now and then. But the moose is, well, first of all, they don't care if you're driving your car. They'll just walk out right in front of you.
Yeah, let's go, what's up? Bam.
They're not scared.
No.
And it's, unfortunately,
sad.
Once they get hit, they got to, if it doesn't kill them, someone's got to do it.
Yeah. But then you get to eat it.
Well, no, you go on there's a roadkill list.
Well, somebody gets to eat it.
Yeah. Then they call the people on the roadkill list. They come out, grab the moose. They have to get it within an hour and process it on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And get it out of there. So
no help from anybody but yourself.
Yeah. You got it. You call up some buddies and you go out there.
We would do it, but we don't have a trailer.
Yeah.
And just don't have a trailer.
So, yeah. We didn't put ourselves on the list yet just because, well, first of all, we need to know how to field dress a moose. But recently, Jacob just had a close encounter with a moose.
Oh yeah, he was just came out of the garage door, and then he was just chilling there, hanging out on the side, literally right in front of the kitchen window.
Yeah.
Probably on the cameras.
That's so crazy. And that was the only door that was unlocked at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because you were actually trying to go back in, or were you coming out? You were going out. Oh, okay.
Back to the chickens.
Oh yeah.
And then we just stood there at each other and looked for like 30, 45 seconds, and then he just trots up the hill, and then I turn to go back to the chickens, see the chickens, and then this huge bald eagle flies over, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
So now you got to watch out for the chicken zone protection.
Yep, the chickens, the bald eagles, the hawks. We've seen foxes down by the lake.
Yeah.
but not too much.
But foxes aren't really.
Yeah, some squirrels sometimes.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of squirrels up here because the winter's so harsh and they're so small that they can't survive. So only the toughest survive out here.
Yeah. So the moose are very dangerous. They will trample you.
Mm-hmm.
They're herbivores, so they won't eat you, but they will.
They'll just kill you.
They have killed. I think they say you have a better chance of getting killed by a moose than a bear. And
Yeah,
I believe that to be true,
that.
just because moose are more in town.
They're all or nothing animal.
Yeah. Well, and other people think, oh, a moose, and they go up to it and
they're so
never
tall.
walk up to a
They're
moose
so big.
because they'll do a little kick first,
Yeah.
and then they'll trample you.
And they trample really hard. They're fast.
Yeah. Well, they weigh around 1,000 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of weight on those little thin legs.
Yeah.
So you don't want all that pressure coming down on you. Is there anything else living here in Alaska that
the icy roads.
the icy road?
The icy roads. It's tough. You got to be careful.
Yeah, it was really tough this year to keep the roads clear because it
Yeah.
rained at one point.
It rained in the beginning and then it just froze and never defrosted again, and it just it was so frigid. The whole winter was been cold. And it just never melted again. It's just constant ice.
Well, there's one part of the highway where there's nothing, and so it's part of Matsu Valley's responsibility of keeping it clear.
Yeah.
But they were having a hard enough time keeping everything around here clear that they couldn't even get out there right away to clear it. And when that ice, or when that water froze, it's like concrete. It's really hard to get off of the ground.
It looks so crazy.
So there was it all has happened where this one area where it's
The fire again.
yeah, I'm sitting in the wrong spot.
Really
Where the I lost my train of thought here. Oh, it's a bend in the highway, and that's where all the freezing fog was at. And the ice just kept piling up on the road, and they just couldn't get it cleared out of there enough. And there were so many accidents over there, and on the bridge with the freezing fog. And a lot of freezing fog, and one day it was so bad, one person crashed, and then it became a 40-car pileup, and they ended up shutting down the highway right there. So instead of it just being an hour and 20-minute drive, it ended up being like
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours, because you have to take this one road through Palmer and then around, and it just, man.
Yeah. We went through the Butte.
Yeah. So that's another thing you got to be careful of, is just the icy roads.
Mm-hmm.
And that's most people anywhere that lives in a cold location. But up here, I just felt like it's more intense because it's harder. It's so much roadway where no one lives.
Yeah, that they don't care enough to plow
Well,
it.
it's not that they don't care enough. It's
it's like not
can't
their
get
top
out.
priority.
Yeah, they can't get out there in time and keep everything around here clear. So.
Yeah.
There was just a couple more things we wanted to talk about surviving here in Alaska. Power going out.
Power going out. Yeah.
Anytime it's a snowstorm.
Yeah. It hasn't been too inconvenient. I would say the most annoying part about it is you have to reset all the clocks all the freaking time.
Yeah. Well, they do a great job here, at least out where we live. They get it back. There was only one time where it took, how many hours?
Like 6 hours.
6 hours, but most times I would say it takes hour to two.
Yeah,
max.
hour to two, and then
And
you're not doing it. I mean, it's
your pipes aren't going to freeze in an hour.
I mean, we just end up playing a board game, and we like doing that anyways.
Yeah, and we have a kerosene heater, portable one.
K1.
K1.
Yeah.
They say it's clean burning.
Clean burning, you can burn it inside.
I hear many people say
Don't
that
trust it.
don't live in Alaska, don't do it because it's not safe.
Yeah, but so
crack a
is
window.
McDonald's French fries,
Yeah.
and those are delicious.
It's a really powerful heater, though.
It is. It gets very warm. It looks cool. It looks like a freaking rocket.
Yeah. Luckily, we did have the kerosene heater, and that's why we have it. But you don't really want to go through those troubles because if you're not home, if we go on a trip, 3-4 days, and the heater goes out,
That's true.
then you'll have some water
Yeah.
pipes busting.
We don't have people that check up on our house.
Yeah. So it's a lot of work, It's like little stuff and stuff that's always on the back of your mind when you're living here just to survive here. One other thing I want to talk about.
What?
The snow falling off the roof could kill you. Because we have a metal roof. Not everyone has metal roofs, but metal roofs are the best for Alaska because it sheds the snow off at a certain point. Like when it gets warm enough today. Well, the other day, all the snow came down.
Yeah.
You got to worry about the weight of the snow on your roof.
Yeah, that's true. If you're like an older house.
Yeah, and you have like shingles or something. You got to be really
A lot of people shovel their roofs.
Yeah, they do.
Roofs.
And like we do have something because last year we got concerned at a certain point. But it's like a really long pole with like a slip and slide attached to it.
Pretty much.
And you just shove it on there and it falls down. It's pretty nice. It's handy. And that's all I got to really say about surviving here in Alaska. There are many other things. We don't live too far outside of the city, so there's a lot of things we don't have to worry about that people who are off the grid have to worry about here.
Yeah.
I would say we're like semi-off grid.
Yeah, I mean, it takes 30 minutes to get to town.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
we're close enough.
Wasilla, downtown, the Four Corners, I like to call it.
So that's pretty much all we have to say right now.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Or
until spring.
Until springtime.
I know.
We're thinking about doing these podcasts more. If there's something that you would love to hear us talk about or any subjects that you want to know about, we're thinking about starting a podcast regularly.
Questions would be so fun.
Questions would be a lot of fun to answer.
I like to do questions.
Because I know there's a lot of people who have a lot of questions out there.
Love questions.
And we would love to answer them for you.
Have a lot of answers.
Or we can go out and figure it out for you.
Yeah. We can go show you. Be like, show me this.
Yeah. So that's all we have to say for right now. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this video, give a thumbs up. Again, leave a comment down below if you want to hear about any subjects. Or if you just want to say how awesome we are, you can say that too. Thank you so much for joining us.
Bye.
We'll talk to you later.